If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all, listen up. CarShield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that covers more parts than ever. Visit carshield.com/audio to find out how you could pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Get your free quote today at carshield.com/audio. That's carshield.com/audio.
Don't you love an extra $100 in your pocket? Have a TurboTax expert file your taxes for you by March 31st to get $100 back instantly. Because no matter what moves you made last year, TurboTax makes them count. That means getting $100 back and 100% accurate taxes, only from Intuit TurboTax. Must file by 3/31. Credit only applicable to federal filing fees with TurboTax full service. Offer can be modified or terminated at any time.
And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
And it's in, and we're here. How are you guys? How are you doing?
What's
I'm
going
good.
on, man?
What's going on is what we want to know. We're sitting here at Zuckerman's Hangar, ready to deliver you guys a great show. David Gooding from Gooding & Company, one of our favorite auction companies, is going to be on in a minute. He's zooming in or Cisco WebExing in. The interface sounds a little better. I've played a little more with the mics. It's almost as good as it's going to get, as I understand it. And he's got their whole business had to make a big pivot. So they're doing online auctioning, the geared online auction for Gooding & Company, August 3rd to the 7th. He's going to tell us all about that, some of the cool cars in there.
Well, I hope he can bring his flash and pizzazz, what I've always really admired about him, to the online arena.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've looked at the cars. They sent me a preview of the cars. He's going to take us through 6 or 7 cars. There's a nice 911 ST there, Zuckerman, an African rally car.
A real one.
A real one, yeah. It's pretty. You don't even want to look at it. It's so
right
great.
Hand or left hand?
Left hand.
Yeah.
LHD.
Because in Africa, they right-hand drive, at least in South Africa.
This was a Porsche car that they brought to South Africa, I think. He's gonna tell us all about it. And it's actually the sample car that they didn't race. So it's the one that didn't get used.
Wow.
It's pretty nuts. Yeah. It's like a safari car, but also a rally car. It's really a beautiful little deal. White with a black meatball on the doors.
Look at you giving me the eyes.
Yeah.
You give me the eyes to express enthusiasm.
It looks good. You just look at it and you just don't want to have to want something like that, but I want it. Big show last week, though, the Bronco, Zuckerman. Huge response to
People
this.
People love that car.
The new Bronco, really, they did it right. They blew this thing out of the water, and I suddenly want one of these. Now I'm confused that I have a Defender, but everybody, the truck is a hit. I mean, there's no real other way to describe it. These things are going to be everywhere, aren't they?
I think so. As long as there's no shenanigans with how they price it, how they make it available. If the dealers just push them out the door, and I think they will, they're gonna sell a lot of these things.
There'll be shenanigans. Of course,
there's going to be shenanigans.
Yeah, you give a $100 deposit, and that doesn't get you. It's just what I went through with the Gladiator.
And
I hope not. I reached out to the Ford Press people, and I said, "Look, why don't they have a launch edition?" Here's where I was with the Gladiator, first edition, launch edition. Hopefully it'll come out first. And I said, get me one. I'll switch my Land Rover order over to this. And, but that was PR. There's a disconnect there. But I said, let me be your Bronco representative here in Los Angeles. Because I don't think you can make a reservation for that edition anymore. They just got gobbled up. I remember going to the site, and it was just down. It was just sorry. They were overwhelmed, which is...
Gobbled up the way you do peanut M&Ms. Mutated peanut M&Ms. Gobbled right up.
Those. Anyway, I wanted to read some of the emails is usually how this stuff used to come in. But now people comment under the shows. How hard was it for you to interview a vehicle when you didn't have any pictures or videos, which is true. I had to do this was an embargoed interview with Ford 2 weeks before the Bronco came out, so I had no information. What I did was I Googled what we know so far articles and kind of asked the central questions in there. That's how we did it. Sonic the Monkey said Ford really nailed it on these. The two-door is especially appealing. It's clean and simple design with perfect proportions, especially with the Sasquatch wheels. There's a Sasquatch package, right?
I don't know, but that's appealing to me. I would like a Sasquatch package.
There were lots of we love this Bronco comments. Lots of fans of Hannah Elliott. Do more shows with Hannah Elliott. Earth, Wind, and Hannah was a great combination. She was great. She, of course, came on to talk about the Petrolicious scandal, news in the car world. Great show today, says Pep's dad. I now want a Bronco. Thank you. Let's see. More about Petrolicious. Some critiques of the webcast sound. Just know I'm working on this, guys, trying to make it great. If you do have any ideas, send them to me, and I will try them. Some folks talking about the Ineos Grenadier, which is that new Land Rover build that looks pretty good. Huh?
Grenadier.
Grenadine? I used to use that.
It's not Grenadier. It's Grenadier.
It looks cool. I don't know enough about it yet to even have a decision about it. Lots of folks just hearing about the Petrolicious scandal for the first time and, worried that we may lose half our fans, Zuckerman, and felt obligated to tell us that.
Really? Half?
Half
1.5
would
people?
disappear.
How do we get rid of 1.5 people? Because we have 3 listeners.
And accusing us of talking politics. Well, again, I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this to most of you, but those of you who are disgruntled, just understand this was a story that happened in the car community. This was racist comments left by the founder of Petrolicious, and the car community rose up against it, and I feel like that's fair game. It's not politics. That's just the world of cars that we live in. The ground is shifting. I think there's going to be, I get the sense, because there was an overwhelming amount of support for our bravery. For some reason, you have to be brave. We were brave last week.
That's what somebody said, that we had balls.
We had, I keep meeting people who are coming up and going, thank you for saying it, and it's really Hannah Elliott, first of all. She's the one who wrote the article in Bloomberg, and it's everybody else on social media. We just had them in. We just had them on to tell their story.
I didn't think it was ballsy. It's funny. You should hang out with me some more, because I'm just going to always say I have no brain. There's no barrier between my brain and my mouth. I just say what I fucking think. It's not balls. It's just...
Yeah, you know what? And it's true, because then it segued into WeatherTech and everything that's going on there. And there seems to be some confusion about that as well, And, with more rational, in a more rational mood that I'm in right now, I would say, look, I don't disagree. WeatherTech's a great company. I like their products. I don't like that they're advertising on this Tucker Carlson show. Stay on Fox News. I respect all views, but racism isn't a view, in my opinion, and I don't feel like I need to say that anymore. But you get it, right? And, between you and me, some WeatherTech people reached out to me and said, look, we're going to talk about this. This isn't, look what happened with our buddy Tucker yesterday. He's now named it a sexual harassment
network, and then and granted, I don't know Tucker personally, but I do know that his chief writer really had some foul views about things. And
it's just like, I don't understand why a company that I like would hitch their wagon to that guy.
What I don't understand is that guy's a fucking billionaire, right? The owner of that WeatherTech company. What's with the mom jeans? And that's
what?
The mom jeans. Have you ever seen his pleated?
That's just, he's an old guy like us. We all have our old guy things that we do. And it's actually quite fashionable to have mom jeans now.
And fashionable for who? for centenarians? For diaper wearers? For who?
Well, look at us. We're not really the bastions of fashion, Zuckerman.
I'm not going to wear mom jeans.
Huh?
I don't wear pleated mom jeans.
I know, but you remember that time that we all went into the Levi's and the young jeans guys were there, and what they told us? They go, all the young guys like the mom jeans, and all you old guys wear the dark jeans so you don't look like old guys.
I'm an old guy. I look like a fucking old guy, but I don't wear capacious pumpkin pants or biscuit pants. I don't need to have large trousers to absorb all of my farts. I don't. Yeah. Come on. If you're going to be hawking,
to say.
If you're going to be hawking a product, try to look like you're trying to fucking sell something. Other than Lebowski,
he's obviously doing pretty well.
I understand, but I don't want to buy things from him when I look at him.
But you're buying mats.
Doesn't matter.
It's not
Doesn't
clothes.
matter.
It doesn't have a fashion
Then why
line.
do we have packaging? Why is there a
What?
whole packaging industry? Why do the always pads have nice, attractive packaging?
I would be careful going down this one, Zuckerman.
I got a lot of kudos about my comments about the Procter and Gamble and the way they market to women.
Oh, you're gonna, yeah.
But let me
You're
just
gonna
tell
bring
you,
that back. Well, by the way, there were a few. There was one woman. I will say it was funny because people, they don't just stop listening. They feel like they have to tell you they're going to stop. Like you're going to be bothered by this, and they're apologetic. And I'm sorry, but where you went. One woman brought up your pads remark. I know.
Where I went.
Like they write three or four pages. We had there were like 4 or 5 people, and
Let me give you something.
It's not a big deal.
There should be a segment called Zuckerman Unbound. And I will tell you, there is a literary reference there for all of you troglodytes. You probably have heard of Philip Roth, one of the greatest writers in American 20th and early 21st century history. And one of his main characters was Zuckerman. And there was a book called Zuckerman Unbound. And we're going to have a segment right now, Zuckerman Unbound. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be unbound about. If you wear gloves to the fucking supermarket, okay, which maybe you want to do, don't take your nasty fucking gloves off, your surgical
That's 2
gloves.
F-bombs you just dropped
and
for the family.
Throw them in the parking lot. I understand after the market you want to get rid of your dirty gloves. You take them off carefully and you throw them into the trash. The same way you would bring the cart back, you throw the gloves in the trash. To throw your gloves like dirty condoms, dirty rubbers onto the parking lot for the poor worker who, you think the guy
really
who's making
dirty.
$15 an hour wants to go pick up your filthy gloves? Come on.
They don't think about that.
If I see somebody throw their gloves on the ground in the supermarket parking lot, I'm going to pick them up and shove them into the person's face and mouth. You've heard it from me. And I'm going to post a picture of what I saw today in the parking lot. Don't be a fucking dick. Put your cart back and put your gloves in the trash.
Wow.
Zuckerman Unbound.
There you are. Supermarket Ombudsman.
Yes.
Paul Zuckerman. You like that, Ombudsman?
Do you remember when you were a kid, the school bus said, this omnibus shall not be operated if anyone is standing ahead of this line, and you're in 5th grade wondering, what the fuck is an omnibus?
Yeah. No.
Did you have that sign in your bus?
Nope.
No? I bet plenty of people had that
I had
sign.
a 2nd grade bus. That was it. The rest of it was walking. We New Englanders, you got to walk a couple miles to school in the rain and sleet. It was always fun, though. Always a good time. Throwing rocks at cars and stuff. And,
yeah, we walked.
Getting beat up. It was good.
Getting beat up. Peter German lifted me by my ears.
What's that?
Peter German lifted me by my ears.
Yeah.
I was in 1st grade. He was in 6th grade. Big size difference. We would walk to the bus stop. It was a half a mile. They would be having Eggcorn and dirt bomb fights, which was fun.
Dirt bomb fights were great.
Until you took one in the nose. Everything was fun. When the other
always
guy,
some rocks in there.
Yeah, as long as the other guy was taking it, it was great. When you got it, it wasn't. Hot tears. And then Peter German came. He must have been 6 feet tall by the 6th grade, and he picked me up by my ears.
Yeah. I remember getting dragged off the sidewalk with Jimmy Lenahan, my bike still wrapped around my legs, into the backyard, and some kid going, "I'm going to kill you," and then just laughed with his friend and walked away. And I went, what? That was such an eye-opening experience. But it prepared me for the world. It prepared me for Boston and New York and these cities where at any moment somebody can drag you off your bike and into an alley.
I think the kids should be.
Danger lurks.
I think that there's some benefit to that horrible upbringing that we had, which was the world outside of your house was a world of terror. You were either inflicting the terror or terror was being inflicted upon you.
My favorite story, Zuckerman, and I laugh about it still to this day, is walking home from 1st grade and walking. We had the elementary school right next to the high school. Okay, and there was a shared football field in the middle. And I had to walk across that football field to get to the sidewalk to head down to my house. And I got onto the 50-yard line, and I'm by myself. I'd stayed late for some reason, didn't have friends there. And I look up in the football stands, and it's empty. There's no football practice going on. It's just me. but there's a guy sitting on the top seat way up in the stands and a girl on top of him facing away from me. And I notice she doesn't have her pants on. But I don't know what's happening. So I walk up to the bottom of the stands and look up, and I'm just staring at them. And then a guy's head peeks around the girl, and he goes, "What the hell are you looking at?" And I went, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Get the fuck out of here before I beat your ass. And then I ran, and then they laughed. And it took me years to understand what I was looking at. But
do you remember that feeling?
Now I know what I'm looking at.
That feeling of having to, being scared and having to run across a field.
Oh, yeah.
Those were great times.
Because when you realize you've escaped,
yes.
when you get 100 steps in, you're like, I got away. There is a thrill in that escape.
There is.
Right?
Do you remember in the wintertime, you've got your parka on, it's freezing, but you're running in so much terror that you're sweating inside the parka.
I was never a dropper and a runner, too. I would just take everything with me. I used to make it.
You had to. You can't drop your books.
And then there was a very exciting development in the bullying when these two girls, Judy and Lori, Judy Flaherty, they were older, tough girls in the neighborhood, all right?
Those are such 60s names, Judy and Lori.
Judy Flaherty and Lori Savage, whose mom was the crossing guard. Now, these girls were 5 grades older than us, but lived in our neighborhood, and we had a 2 streets full of kids, right? And they said they cornered us one day like bullies and stood over us, and they go, "Look, we're going to be your girlfriends. And you're going to be our boyfriends." And we were just like, "Oh, okay, just to beat us up." So Judy goes, You're my boyfriend, Mike. And because I'm Michael, I'm not Spike. And Jimmy, you're Lori's boyfriend. And we were like, okay, but we just don't want to be beat up. And they go, okay, now you should know something. As our girlfriends, every day you got to buy us candy and you've got to bring us gifts.
A shakedown.
It was a shakedown.
A wonderful
but
shakedown.
You'll be able to tell everybody in the neighborhood that we're your girlfriends. And still not even knowing what a girlfriend or boyfriend does. This is early. So it got really competitive. Jimmy's like, "Look, I bought this little candy necklace for Lori." I'm like, "God damn. Well, now I got to go get money and get something for Judy." He goes, "Yeah, you better, because she's upset you didn't get her anything." And I realized what we were doing. We were paying these girls during the shakedown. But then this kid next door, Gordon, I think it was Gordon Pike. And forgive me, Gordon, if it wasn't you. Ended up being a good guy. We like Gordon and Andy Pike, who lived next door. But Gordon, who was in their grade, the girls' grade, starts bullying us and starts beating up on us. Lori and Judy run across the street and beat the shit out of Gordon.
Oh, a protection racket.
They beat him. They beat him bloody. And they said, "Nobody messes with our boyfriends." And boy, they had us after that moment. Isn't that amazing?
It's a wonderful story.
It's a wonderful story.
This is kind of like...
And Judy was a good-looking girl. These were good-looking girls.
Did you see... remember that old movie, My Bodyguard? Right?
Yeah.
This is the way it really should have been, because that's the way this shit was back then.
Yeah. And there's no parents around. There was no mentioning of bullying.
Where were parents?
They're gone.
There was very distinctively different worlds. Parents lived in another world from us kids.
Yes.
Right? And there was a kid world that was self-contained and seemed completely distinctly apart from parent world.
And very dramatic. There were very dramatic moments, like the moment Philip Hashey turned to me and went, "There's no Santa Claus, you idiot." I know the inch of Ellis Avenue I was on when he said that. That hit me in the head like a lightning bolt. I went, "What?" And all the lies came back.
Yeah.
Or when Philip came running down, chased by his older brothers, one of whom I think was a drug dealer who was arrested for dealing heroin. And somehow Philip had ratted on him, and he ran by us and up a tree, and they threw a baseball at him and knocked him out of the tree. At least 2 stories up. You know, he's wild. And again, the kid falls to the ground, and there was no police. There's no nothing. We help him up. We feel bad for him. You know, it was a very dramatic and fun time. But at the same time, unsupervised, I burned my backyard down once.
We burned the woods down, too.
Yeah. I was, we were in the woods with guns and knives and canoes, doing whatever we wanted to, shooting at stuff and having a good time.
We stole a bunch of lumber and a big reel from the phone company. That big wooden reel was a table, and we made a shack back there, and then we had candles, and the candles would melt. And the wax would go into the center of that spool, the spool that they had the wire on.
Those are great.
And
Tables,
all that wax was in there, and all of a sudden, flames started shooting out the center of the spool
and
like a flamethrower.
You ran.
And we ran, and then we realized...
Exactly.
And I ran into my parents' backyard. I got a small little bucket, a beach bucket of water, which was, by the time I ran back, had all of 2 ounces of water in it. And the woods were on fire. Yeah. And fortunately, we had a shovel, and we managed with, I think...
You put it out?
We put it out with hysteria, psycho strength, that adrenaline psycho strength. Yeah. The shed was wrecked, that little shack, that little fort. But, it was a good time back then. I'm going to tell you, we had a good time
it was
unsupervised like that.
They opened the door in the morning.
They let you out
after you ate your own breakfast like a cat, and then there was sometime come back at some point. Occasionally you'd hear a yell out the window, lunch, but you could miss that. Lunch! Just somewhere that you'd turn in the neighborhood. Gangs of kids, stupid fights going on, wars,
football
bomb
games,
wars.
baseball games, dirt bomb fights.
We used to invent great games too, like I was telling Jack, my son, we used to play a game called Holly Tacker, which was a combination of hockey, basketball, and baseball.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
No, you don't know it.
Well,
we
did you have rolling chairs? Because we did that with rolling office chairs.
There was a guy who was trying to make a basket, and there was a guy with a hockey stick who could do anything he wanted to stop the basket.
Yes.
And then if you stopped him, the guy with the basketball would have to pitch the basketball to you, and you could hit it like a baseball. It was great. Did you have like bunch of roaming dogs in your neighborhood?
Of course, because
that could kill you at any moment. That was great.
We had the dog went out in the day.
Right.
The cat went out at night.
But the neighbors would release their dogs, and they couldn't be controlled.
Okay, and so everybody's dog was roaming. And when I begged my mother for a dog. So mind you, this is probably at some point in the 70s, and I finally convinced my mother that I could have a dog. And she said to me, "Okay, bring one home." I was deputized to go hunt down a stray dog to bring home, which is what I did, because that's how you got a dog.
That's right.
You captured a dog, you brought your dog home, right? And that's what.
No, I got someone to give me their dog.
I was a dog rustler, and that's how I got my first dog.
And I remember my dad said, "Yeah, you can keep it, just keep it outside." And I said, "Okay." So I said to the dog, Patches was his name. He's already named. Okay, you live out here. And then I went in, went to bed, ate dinner, saw Patches like 2 days later. I was like, "Hey, buddy, there's my dog."
We moved from one house.
And wait, my dad saw Patches. So Patches was essentially a dog just living on the street. My parents didn't really know like anything about taking care of dogs. Maybe not even kids. They did all right, but definitely not dogs. Patches. There was this old veteran who lived on our street who looked like the sinister character from Home Alone, the really old guy with a turn like that. He would walk up and down the street, and he was a Vietnam veteran, and Patches one day barked at him a little bit and, nipped at his heel. And my dad saw it, and then the next day Patches was gone. Patches went to the proverbial farm.
Well, yes, and that's how things were handled. So, for example, we moved from one house to another about 10 miles away. We took both stray cats that we had taken in to the new house. My mother decided she did not like one of those cats. She put him in a pillowcase, drove him back to the old neighborhood, and let him out.
Yeah,
and that's how
free.
it was handled. And I remember the neighbor, Mr. Cooney, when his dog, the little poodle Tax, got to be 18, he took it out back and hit it with a shovel.
Oh, God.
And then buried it. That was animal care in the 70s.
Yeah, what a mess.
What a mess.
Well, we're different now. Now we take care of our dogs. My dog's being groomed and shaved right now.
Yes.
Little gopher.
Flea powders and flea pills and heart pills, eye drops, you name it.
All right, let's talk about this
that was a
Cayenne
wild tangent.
Coupe GTS. Not long ago, last week, Zuckerman, and you saw it, the Porsche Cayenne GTS coupe like toupee 2021. We had it at the house to drive. I only drove it for 3 days, so I didn't get a lot of time to be in it. But I'm going to give you my impressions. First, let me give you some stats. First, the price of this car is $110,500. This car that we drove, which is in carmine red, and you'll see it on my Instagram, spec'd out to $161,000.
Holy shit.
From 110, right? Let's go over some of the basic stuff that I have here for you. Let me see my notes.
$50,000 in options. That's amazing.
Yeah. 0 to 60, 4 seconds. Top speed, 168.
That's a lot of beef to get to 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. In 160.
18 miles to the gallon, 453 horsepower. It's got a twin turbo V8, wireless CarPlay and charger, which, as you know, I like. Houndstooth on the interior, which I love. These design cues from the past. It's a fast, sleek coupe that I feel like really looks to erase the soccer mom SUV complex. I've been thinking about why make this coupe? Why make this SUV a coupe? And I'll tell you why, Zuckerman, because it doesn't look like something the soccer mom drives. If the soccer mom is listening, you want something cool, this is the thing you have. It has a rich, wonderful exhaust note that is not too much. It doesn't have the droney drone on the highway where you're making too much noise. It has just enough. The car is coming out in fall of 2020. Now, admittedly, a little slower than the turbo. But I like that. I don't need my SUVs to go fast.
That doesn't sound slow to me.
But here's where I started really thinking about this Cayenne Coupe GTS, all right? This vehicle, to me, is about an alternative to the G-Wagon, okay?
Gotcha.
And where the G-Wagon tilts towards a luxury experience, right? An expensive luxury SUV that's cool, that is a cool factor. The GTS Coupe tilts towards a sports car. So when you take that G-Wagon out in the turns on Sunset, right, you're sinking a little bit, right? It's not really about driving fast in turns. When I got into the Cayenne Coupe GTS and started taking turns on Sunset, I felt like I was in a stiff race car that was just elevated in height. Man, does this thing move, Zuckerman.
Wow.
And it feels substantial, and it feels expensive. It doesn't feel luxe as the G-Wagon. It feels sport, like a very nice 911 turbo or 911 GTS. Imagine like they took a 911 GTS and elevated it to SUV status.
I have a lot. It's amazing how that they can carve the segments the way they do and give a distinct personality. What's the price differential between a G-Wagon and this vehicle?
They're about the same. I think I recall G-Wagons coming in at about 151, 150 spec'd out, all spec'd out. And they can go higher, right? But again, there's a very clear line between the buyer of these two, what they are.
Yeah.
And if and again, and go ahead and make fun of me if you want. Connectivity is one of the most important things to me these days because it enhances my driving experience. And when I'm not messing around with my damn phone, because now we're all trying to do business in our cars, when I'm not messing around with my damn phone and I can do it by speaking or do it by touching a screen, I'm happy. That is the Porsche Cayenne GTS Coupe wireless CarPlay. As much as I love the G-Wagon, it's got a cursor system and it doesn't have a touchscreen, and that doesn't work for me. That ruins my daily drive when suddenly I'm looking down and I'm being dangerous on the road because I can't return a text that I need to return or get a text about a kid where I got to go pick somebody up or something or put in the Malibu kitchen or find out where the police are. Now, that said, I still love the G-Wagon. I think it's an amazing vehicle. And some of you don't mind that system. Johnny Lieberman, for one, doesn't mind it. If it were me making a choice, I'd be picking the GTS Coupe primarily because of that. Right?
Gotcha.
Some of these options, Zuckerman. Here's one of the most expensive packages, the lightweight sport package in carbon fiber. Okay, $12,620 you're adding to this. But when you see the sport design exterior mirror with carbon fiber, the sport exhaust system, the mounted tailpipes in black, when you see the 22-inch GT design wheels, you're going to want to get it. when you see the carbon fiber roof, Zuckerman, you'll want it. It's an amazing looking thing. Now, I'm not a fan of Carmen Red, and I would not spec this car in that color. It's okay. I really would have loved this outside of Carmen Red, but, whatever. 8-speed Tiptronic S. Good question for Porsche. Why is there Tiptronic? Why don't they put the PDK in that? That's, I'm sure, a stupid question, and I'm acknowledging it. I don't know why. Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control, good idea. Rear axle steering, you can feel it. The ceramic composite brakes, they did not squeak. They were delightful. This car's a winner, Zuckerman. It's a winner. Used to be these GTSs didn't have turbocharged engines. They do now, but with the V8, I didn't care. I love it.
You really are great at breaking these cars down. You really are a great pitch man.
Thank you, and I like just the practical use. Here's another little tip for you, Porsche, all right, from Land Rover. And because I do this in my house. I'm the guy buying groceries right now because I feel like if someone's going to die, it should be me, mostly because I want to die. Just kidding. When I'm returning from the front door of the supermarket, I want to press the button not only to open the hatch, I want to press the button to close the hatch on the keychain, on the key fob, on the electronic thingy dig. All right? Most of these manufacturers can get us open, but as far as I know, it's only Land Rover. If you click it again, it closes down. That's a little thing. That's my only complaint. I loved it. I love Porsche. I love this thing. You should get one.
Well said. I'm sold. I am sold.
And that's all I have to say about that. I'm driving some cool stuff. And look, I feel like I know we got off the politics, and this is the only thing I'm going to say. Look, I respect all views. I respect all of you. And if you need to leave and you don't want to listen, that's cool. But just know you're not going to affect this hour of my life. I do it because nobody plays with it. I appreciate you reaching out and saying hi, but I'm bored with your arguments. And most people didn't agree with you if you reached with the things you said and you reached out to both of us. But thank you for interacting with us and listening to our podcast. And who cares?
And who cares?
And
so
who
what would you rather
cares?
hear? Us talk about politics or our childhoods?
All of it's good. And it wasn't politics. It was about a car story that was going on in the news. Right?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And Dave McNeil, you do have a lot of fans out there. Do the right thing. Get off that stupid Carson Daly show.
And buy a new pair of jeans.
Don't buy the jeans. I don't mind them. And it's all going to be good. It's all going to be good because I don't know, Zuckerman. If I were any of these manufacturers, I had a history of this stuff, I was caught off guard by that Petrolicious thing. I didn't know that was going on. I was just like, what? And then if you would asked me before the whole thing happened, I would have said I'm not sure anybody cares. But the things I've heard about the car community right now and what's going on in them, I'm encouraged by it.
Encouraged by it.
I'm worried by the people who aren't getting it, that they're, some other names are going to end up going down. And my wish is that everybody catches up to this and we all have a happy car life together. You have anything else to say before I bring in David Gooding?
That's it, man.
David Gooding and Company, one of our favorite auction houses, has an online auction because they can't get together. There is no Pebble Beach. There was no Melia Island. It's called Geared Online. All you have to do is go to goodingandcompany.com. It's August 3rd to the 7th. Bidding opens on the 3rd. Bidding ends on the 7th. You and I have been invited to check out the cars. They are all at Van Nuys Airport. You can make an appointment for inspections, or they will literally hold their phone up and to any piece in the car that you want to see. They've got some amazing things there. Yesterday, I spoke to David, who says hello to you, Mr. Zuckerman.
Thank you.
That's code for he wants your money. And we had a great talk from his kitchen of his Santa Monica home. Here is David Gooding. You're listening to David Gooding. Live from his kitchen. Hi, David.
Hello, Spike. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing? How's the family?
Everybody's good, adjusting to this new life that we call quarantine,
Yeah. Well, you have a lovely kitchen behind you.
Thank you. What are you? What room are you in?
I'm in the room above my garage,
Oh, cool.
which is my all-purpose everything room. It's now a gym. It's a
Uh-huh.
workspace. It's a gaming space for the kids. It's a guitar room for us to practice guitar. Um,
Cool.
it's the only thing I don't do up here is shower. If I, but I would like to move into this room. I love this
Ah,
room.
yeah, looks great. Looks very comfy.
Yeah, you
What
can
kind of?
see in the back there the where I do the crunches. My crunch bar
Yeah,
is there, and my bike that I've set up.
yeah.
My homemade Peloton bike, which is soon going to be a homemade Soul Cycle bike,
Uh-huh.
is where we get the work done.
Oh, good.
At least for
Good.
the next 10 years until the
Yeah.
vaccine comes up. So, I'm glad you're coming on the show because I've been wondering about you and Gooding Auctions. And, as we all know, Gooding and Company throws fantastic auctions. What makes it fun, though, is their events, intense, with lots of people. So, when do we go down? You do Scottsdale. You have some big auctions in January, right? And
Correct.
then
Yes.
it's maybe February, I guess, toward the end of February, they start closing things down. What's going through your head at that moment in February?
Well, February, typically we're getting really ready for Amelia Island. So, we're gearing up for Amelia Island. And then just after Amelia Island, we have a little break and then we get ready for Pebble Beach. So this year is different, of course, because everything is postponed.
But so you start to realize these events are gonna get canceled. That you're not gonna
Yeah.
be there because they're gonna get canceled. I remember Pebble Beach got canceled pretty quickly in March.
Yeah.
So
So you're
what do
saying
you,
this February, what was going through our head?
yeah, well, no, well, what's the pivot for your
Yeah.
business? So
Yeah.
you go, okay, look,
Yeah.
you sit down with everybody. We're
Yeah.
not, it's a bummer, but it
Yeah.
could be a year before we get people in a tent together and have an event and have cars and have some fun.
Yeah.
What's the plan? I really
So
don't even know the plan. What are you guys up to?
so basically, we created after we had our Amelia Island auction in March. It was a great success, and then just after that is really when COVID took hold. Like literally the following week is when everything really began to become problematic all around the world. So in March, we started scratching our heads, thinking, okay, what are we going to do if Pebble Beach can't come along? If that's going to be postponed till next year? What do we do? So we actually put on the front burner the online auctions that we were working on doing and developing. It of course became top priority, and so we developed this whole online platform called Geared Online, and we're doing online auctions, very similar in approach to our live auctions, where we focus on quality, and we have all the cars under effectively one tent or one roof. We actually have a warehouse in Van Nuys now, where we have all the cars that we're going to be selling, and it's a great online platform. We're really excited about it. So we're going to be launching our first auction right at the end of July is when the catalog comes out, and then the actual live auction is the first week in August.
Yeah, so I just went to goodingandcompany.com, and it's right there. Geared online, August 3rd to August 7th.
Yeah.
Bidding opens at 9 a.m. So I'm a buyer.
Yeah.
I'm always a buyer. You know that.
I know.
On that morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to goodingandcompany.com.
Yep.
Right? And there'll be a little auction link there.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And then I'm going to see a live auction happening.
Yes, you're going to be seeing an online auction, so you can.
Oh, I see.
All
Okay.
of the week before that in July, basically July 27th, you can go through all of our cars will be up on our catalog online, so you can look at all the cars that we'll be having there to bid on, and so you can examine them. You can, if you want to come up and have a look at the cars, you can set up an appointment to see them at, of course, safe social distance. So we have all that. But the warehouse that we have is a wonderful warehouse where you can view all the cars. So you can view them virtually if you want. If you want a specialist, myself or one of our sales guys, to walk you around the car with a iPhone. We can do that, FaceTime it, whatever. And then the actual online auction, you bid during that week, just as you would for an online platform.
Wow. Okay, so the bidding
Yeah.
opens August 3rd, and then August 7th at what time? Noon?
August 7th at noon, although because we have the anti-snipe, so if there's bidding going, it can extend beyond
Right.
that time. So
So it can keep going until the bidding is done. So all
Exactly.
the cards kind of wrap up at the same time.
correct. Yeah.
Wow. And so are there plans now to kind of roll these out a little more? Like, obviously,
Yeah.
you don't have to wait for events. Now you can
Yeah.
just do this whenever you like.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we're obviously the first one we're anxious to have, but yeah, we can do them throughout. It is not replacing our live auctions. It is in conjunction with our live auctions. So we'll have numbers of them throughout the year in addition to our live auctions when our live auctions are back on their normal schedule.
Wow. And what's your assessment of the market right now as you're, watching things happen?
Yeah, the market is surprisingly resilient and strong. I think some prices have come down a bit certainly on what I would call weaker cars, but we've been selling cars privately very actively. Everything takes a little longer, because if you want to set up an inspection, for example, sometimes people can't get out as quickly. You can't get a transporter as quickly. So some things are taking a longer time, but the actual desire and for cars out there is very, very strong. So
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, I keep hearing for cars selling and great cars selling for a lot of money right now. I think, it's one of the few things we can still do,
yeah,
and people have plenty of time.
yeah, yeah.
And some people have plenty of money
Yeah.
still, for some reason. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
still do. All right. Well, let's talk about some of the cars that you have coming up here.
Sure.
Let me go to the page here because I saw there's some beautiful cars that you're selling. Go ahead and talk. Pitch me any of the cars.
Well, let's see. I mean, we've got a lovely collection, an exclusive collection.
How many cars are you guys selling?
We have just over 55 cars that we've got.
Wow, that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
That's what I like about you guys. You don't have too many cars. It's not a cattle call.
Yep.
And you also have a car at every price point, so there's something for everyone.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So, I mean, just like our normal sales, our live auctions, I would say, we like to offer something for every kind of, collectors and cars from different eras. We've got cars from the 30s, cars from the 20s, lots more contemporary cars as well. I mean, that's the bulk of what we have. And cars in different price points. So cars that are $20,000 all the way up to $2.5 million. So it's exciting. Yeah. So
some pretty things here.
Yeah. So we've got, we've got a wonderful Ferrari F50 from a collection of Ferrari supercars. It comes with a F40 and a Ferrari Enzo. So we're very excited about that.
This is the silver car.
The silver,
F50.
silver F50, and they look great in silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a silver one before.
Yeah.
With red seat inserts. Wow.
Yeah. Just over 10,000 miles. It's a U.S. spec F50, just two owners from new, single family ownership since 2002. So just to see an F50 in silver coming from a great home, we're really excited about that car. So
yeah, holy moly.
Yeah, and we're estimating it at 2.2 to 2.6. And
there you go.
Yep. And then we have a silver Enzo to go with it, which is exciting. Because everybody needs, you need a hair,
Bookends.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Let me get this Enzo up. Oh yeah, wow. Boy, that looks great with tan hides. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow, what a car.
Single family ownership, 7,100 miles. Argento
Look at the
Nürburgring.
belts.
Yeah.
And you've got the right belts in there, racing belts. Look at that. And these came from the same owner?
Yeah. Yep.
This guy knows how to
Along
spec
with
cars.
Oh yeah, along with an F40 too.
Wow.
Yeah, great F40, US F40.
Well,
Single
this
family
Enzo
ownership.
is to die for. What is the estimate on this car?
The estimate is 2.2 to 2.6.
Wow. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
Do you find that people generally buy both the cars when they come? It's kind of like when you're adopting kittens, right? And they say, look, if you want that kitten, you got to take the brother and sister and you get 3.
Right.
Do people do that? I know the sellers like to do that. I'd like these to go to the same home, but do the buyers generally buy both?
Sometimes, certainly we find that people fall in love with one and then just have to have the other. Yeah, it's not surprising, and especially these two cars in that silver color combination. That's definitely a pair, But and also with supercars, people love to have, often most people that have one Ferrari supercar have a set, So
right,
because everybody needs that, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, how can you not?
Right, of course.
The Enzo. I mean, what is the maintenance like on these cars? I don't know anything about the Enzo. I'm really attracted to the Enzo these days. Is it a tricky bit of business? Or
all money solves all problems.
I found with Ferraris, once you get them right, they tend to last. But you have to take a little time getting them right.
No. I think that's completely accurate. Actually, for most Ferraris throughout the eras, they're actually really reliable cars if you maintain them properly. But they're extremely well built, and that comes from their racing heritage. I mean, to have a successful race car, you've got to have a car that runs and finishes a race. So no, they're generally very stout, very good, reliable cars if they're well maintained. So the more contemporary Ferraris have certainly been that way. So all of these cars have had recent maintenance and the services and everything. So they're in top order.
Excellent. All right. What else you got?
So, do you want to talk about
the Land Cruiser?
The Land Cruiser. Okay, yeah. Beautifully restored.
1967 FJ40 Land Cruiser. And what is that color, which is unbelievable?
Yeah, it's sort of it's called light olive over coral. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that pretty?
Well, it's absolutely stunning. And is this a car that someone has customized, or is that how that thing?
So it's basically restored. It's got an upgraded. It's had a total nut and bolt restoration. It's got an upgraded later 4.2 liter 6-cylinder Toyota engine. So it's the upgraded, more powerful engine. But it's basically a restored. It's a fully restored car.
Yeah,
absolutely
it looks
beautifully
brand
done.
new.
Yeah.
With a tan interior. How come with these cars nobody ever puts the seatbelts in the back? Like, it's most likely it's going to be a parent like me buying this thing, and they never restore them with the seatbelts. They leave those off.
We have to give something for you guys to do.
Something for me to do, right? Get my drill out and pull it in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're good with the
drill, right? It is the easiest install. Yeah, this is an amazing looking truck from 1967. And I've driven them before. I have that old Series 2A. These Land Cruisers drive so much better than an old Land Rover. I hate to say it, but they really are nice to drive. And what a beautiful machine this is. God.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ward might be your guy for this one.
Who's that?
Jonathan Ward.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
An icon.
Great. Yeah. So this one is 60 to 80,000, and I just love the color combination, the year, the spec, all of it. It's really well done, and it looks brand new when you see it in person. It is. Yeah,
I can tell.
Yep.
And the gas, what is that? A water can on the back on the tire, or is that extra gas? What are you using it for?
It's empty right now. Whatever you want. Yeah. Tequila, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on how loud the kids are. So,
do you have information in front of you? I know you wanted to pick some cars to talk about, so I don't want to just.
No.
But this 2002 Mercedes-Benz G500 custom pickup truck.
Wild
looking creature.
Yes. Yeah.
What can you tell me about this? I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, that is a custom. I don't have too much information on that vehicle in front of me. What I can tell you is that is the ultimate COVID vehicle. I mean, you could just plow away from anything. It is a big Germanic custom pickup. Yeah.
And it's a pickup truck that kind of looks like a G-Wagon in front. It's beautiful, dark blue metallic with black off-road wheels of some kind. The interior looks standard G-Wagon from what year? I mean, maybe 2002, right?
Yeah, 2002. Yeah.
But boy, is that a special again. And the roof rack. Give me a roof rack every time. I'm a canoeer now. I lose my mind when I see the roof rack.
Oh, you're a canoeer. Well, you can also put the canoe in the back too.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's a really cool vehicle. Cars and coffee in and out in the woods.
Yeah. And it's a G-Wagon. And the other day I was at the warehouse and I got a business call. So I hopped into it, closed the door. It was like being in a vault, I mean, right. Fantastic. So
yeah, it's neat. And the tire hanging off the back with the silver cover is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. Very subtle. Very subtle. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
So, you like this? You're a Porsche guy. We've got this 928. ST. Oh, you want to talk the ST? We can talk the ST.
No, let's do the 928 first.
Okay. So, 928, first year. It's an early U.S. spec car.
1978.
78, yeah, exactly. It's got a 5-speed. The crazy thing about this car is it has over $100,000 spent on a restoration on this car.
Wow. Yeah. Silver black.
Silver black.
You can see it in the interior.
Yeah. With that crazy early year striped interior.
Who did that? Why did someone put $100,000
into a 928? Yeah. Well, because they love it.
What is the story?
They love it.
They did.
Yeah, no, they found it. They wanted to make like the best 928, early 928 they could find. So they found a car with 36,000 miles, and then they just carried out a restoration from 2015 to 2018. This guy William Anast and Rob Edwards, two California-based enthusiasts, and they just whatever it took is what they spent on it.
This car is spotless.
Yeah.
Absolutely spotless.
Yeah.
Now, what's the reserve on this?
So we're estimating at 110 to 130. So it's practically restoration cost.
Right. So he wants to get out of it for what he put into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at the engine bay right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's a tight little bullseye.
Yeah.
Finding that guy who wants a perfect 928.
We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. So
his name rhymes with Teinfeld. Spike, it's spotless. Did you say there's 928? There's not a bolt scratched on it. But it's a 928, Jerry. What? Yeah.
He's the man for it. Definitely the man for it. Yeah.
It is perfect. It really is perfection looking at it. All right, now let's get to this ST is gorgeous.
Yeah, the ST. So 71 ST rally car. It was one of the training cars for the East African Safari. It is the only one that was white. It's of course got twin plug 2.2 liter S engine. And it was one of the, it was the team car. It was a training car. Beautifully restored, really, really cool. I mean, if you see this car in person, it's got CB radios, all kinds of, the detail on it is insane.
Straight pipes on the back.
Straight pipes.
Really great paint on it too. Here, I'm trying to find the shot again. The top of the hood is black, as are the front fenders, and that kind of reaches down like hands over the headlights. And then you've got a black meatball on the side.
Yep.
Mud flaps. Wow.
Yep. Flat black.
Just a tough look. That's a flat black?
Yep. Yeah.
And the classic Porsche racing color of white.
Yeah.
This is what a gorgeous car this is.
And it was sponsored by Sears in period. So it's got these little Sears badges and even Sears locks on it. And
Yeah.
Sears white wall tires, which is it's
got
done. The restoration's
Chrono
crazy.
on the dash there too. I can't quite make out. Are those Hoyer chronos?
I think they're Hoyers. Yeah.
Yeah. Dash timers.
Yeah.
And then you've got another rally timer in there. Wow, that's a car.
Yeah.
And how is do you know how the transmission is geared? Like a rally car, short gears?
It's short gears, yeah. All short geared 5-speed. So I mean, it's got to be a blast to drive.
Yeah,
that'd be the perfect Malibu car, like on the beach in Malibu.
That's you and Matt Farah.
Yeah.
Right now, it is a really beautiful car. I've never seen this car before. This car is gorgeous. You got skid plate in the front, under the front bumper too.
Yep.
The deco strip paint on the front bumper. What and that plate, is that an African plate on the front license plate?
Yes. Yeah, I believe it is. Yep.
And
the East African Safari.
Yeah, I would not change any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even register it.
Well, you could register it. It's road registered. You can drive it on the road. So
wow.
Really cool.
Really cool. And now is the engine a matching number engine, or is it?
Yeah,
correct? It is.
It is a correct. It's a correct engine. It's not the original engine.
Yeah, that would be tough to find.
Yeah.
After a grueling 4,000-mile contest across Kenya.
But it was. But this is actually probably the most original one because it was the training car, so it didn't get beat to hell.
See.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's the estimate on this car?
950 to 1.2.
Worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great car.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. So we're excited about that one. What else do we have here? We've got a great 2.2T 71 2.2T. Bahia red, really original car. Comes with a comfort package. Do you have that pulled up?
Yep, I have it up.
Yep,
it's lovely.
Really original. Could be used as a preservation car if you wanted, or just driven. Comes with its original window sticker, books, tools, all kinds of records. It was owned by one guy for over 48 years. The original owner, the first owner.
Wow.
Yeah. Really
so
nice.
This is a one owner car.
Well, for many years, yeah.
For many years, 65,000 original miles on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I can tell. Look at that. All your engine stickers are correct. I'm looking at this. This still has the Shell sticker and the air cleaner.
Yeah.
Wow, what a car. This is nice. And there's that color code badge on the door, and it doesn't have gobs of paint all over it.
All over it, covering it up. Exactly.
It's perfection.
Yeah.
So you said original paint?
Yeah, mostly original paint. I think it's had a couple little spots here or there, but
that's
mostly original.
Great. And this is a beautiful red too. It's like a darker cherry red. It's nice. Very nice.
The Bahia red is the what I like is the darker red. So
that's a winner too.
Yeah,
I'm in.
So we're estimating that at 120 to 140.
Mm-hmm.
So that we've got that. We have Carrera 3.2, 1984. Which is a one of a kind built by the Porsche Design Studio in a really unusual black metallic. You have that up?
No, I'm looking for it right now. Oh yeah, that is. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the Porsche Design Studio in 1984.
Yeah. Before Porsche exclusive. So it was the before they opened Porsche exclusive.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this interior.
Yeah, I know. It's
got everything.
I know. Yeah, sort of. When you see it in person, that it's more the interior is sort of an orange, which matches the black. Strangely, the black metallic has kind of an orange tint to it. It's wild.
Yeah.
So the interior just matches it beautifully. It really is striking.
So European specification.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That it was so originally registered to Porsche and later owned by noted historian Dr. George Conradsheim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
He wrote the Carrera.
Right. Okay. Good.
The Carrera book. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I prefer this interior to Can Red. I've seen that. You know the Can Red cars. It's just too. I always feel like I'm in a cow's mouth. It's cool.
It's a cow's mouth. I've never heard that. That's good. I will remember that.
But this is lovely, and it is very European. And I've never seen a steering wheel done like that. That's really hilarious and very German. Very German.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk cars all day. We've got a wonderful Bugatti 57, Type 57 drop head.
I don't see that one yet. Yeah, that one's not up yet.
Very green. Two shades of green. Should be up there.
Oh wait, here it is.
37 Type 57.
My pictures aren't coming up on it for some reason.
Okay.
That's all right. Okay. Go ahead. You can talk about it. It's a 38. So it's Type 57. Okay.
Yep. Type 57. It's got a Latourner Marchand body, which is a custom coach builder from France. 8-cylinder supercharged 3.2 liter engine, very advanced, extremely fast for the day. I mean, this was one of the most expensive cars of the era, and it's beautifully restored. It won a prize at Pebble Beach. Fairly fresh restoration. I think the restoration is about a year old, so first time it's ever been for sale. So we're excited about that car as well.
What's going on with these older cars? Like here's a car from the late 30s. Yep. Are you finding that buyers maybe in their 40s and 50s are starting to like these things, or is it still just the old guys who trade these things?
No, look, they have to be exciting cars from those periods. So something like this car, a Bugatti that is supercharged, that is a beautiful car that has performance features as well. I mean, it's an extremely fast and exciting car to drive for the period. Yes, there are buyers for that. We have younger clients that are definitely in their 30s bidding on these cars, looking for these cars. We've been selling these kinds of cars privately because they're actually a little not as so susceptible to price fluctuations. If somebody wants a really special rare car like that, they want it, and so we've been selling cars like that since March. We've been more active in that segment of the market than sort of more common production cars. So,
wow. Yeah, they are gorgeous cars. I mean, what an incredible looking thing.
Yeah, and they're great to drive too. Fun, fast. They sound great. Oh yeah, they're fun. Yeah, and like a Grand Prix Bugatti from that period is insanely fast. It'll do a great Grand Prix Bugatti from 27 will do 0 to 60 in the 6s for a 1920s car. That's exciting, very exciting.
Do you ever get your hands on the Koenigsegg's or the Paganis or?
Yeah, we've had Paganis. We haven't had a Koenigsegg. I would love to have a great example to offer, but we haven't had one yet. But we have had Paganis, and I mean they're wild cars, sensational cars. So have you driven one or?
No, it's a segment that I don't normally pay attention to, but my 10-year-old is way into that stuff.
Right.
I don't know. Your kids always find a way to kind of not like what you do and drive. So it's like I thought, well, geez, I'm kind of covered because look at the cars I drive. Nope. And they went right to, well, yeah, it's not a Koenigsegg, Dad.
Yeah.
So they're, it's funny, and they like those, and then they like military vehicles, all the things I don't have. But I get it. That's just the kids tend to like the stuff that they see in their movies, the Fast and Furious cars, and.
Hey, at least they like cars, and you can share that. That's fun.
Oh, they know. Yeah, they know way more about me at this point. YouTube. They'll watch episode after episode of the Grand Tour and then Top Gear, and just start throwing out facts at me. And I'll be honest with you, they're better at it than I am.
That's great.
They know more. They're studying more. Yeah. I don't know that it's going to give them much of a future. Maybe you can hire them, David.
Hey, you know what?
But it's good for now. Yeah, they like to drive. Today we're gonna go drive a BMW 1M and try to review that for his YouTube channel. So
cool.
That should be some fun.
And where do you give me sort of your view? Where do you like to go? Is that a can you share that? Where do you drive or?
Well, we've been driving. There's the impromptu kind of COVID and coffee, we call it, at the Malibu Country Mart Sundays, 8 to 10 a.m. there, and it was really big this past weekend. But what was nice about it is
I saw your post on it. I saw your post on it. It was great. Good cars there too.
All we were asking is everybody please wear a mask and try to social distance. And it was, I thought everybody did a great job. However, as you know, the car community is just a gigantic, wonderful, we all got nothing to do. We're similarly afflicted with this obsession. So now there doesn't seem to be enough room even there to cars. And I usually show up at 8 and I almost couldn't find a place to park. And, that means we're all going to be lining up at 3 a.m. So, my drives outside of that are usually errands. I love to run errands in old cars. Yeah, I think there's nothing better than using a car to get groceries or, this morning my son went to camp and I dropped him off in the Zagato. It's just fun.
Oh, cool.
To make some noise and I end up having a good time running an errand. And so, that's generally it. We don't do rallies. We do the PCH. We'll stop for coffee. We'll do canyons, depending on whichever car we're in. And then it's back to work,
Yeah. Grab it while you can. I totally agree with you. I love just taking the cars out, running errands in them, driving them. You get a sense, when you're doing these organized rallies, which are also fun and they're, you get more time and it's different, but you get a real sense of the car when you're using it in some sort of practical utilitarian purpose. You get an appreciation for it.
Yeah, so, I totally agree. I mean, these little moments and these little drives become great memories. And also, it makes you not precious about the car. It makes you just use it and enjoy it. Because, who the hell knows?
Yeah, exactly.
You're one sneeze away from death.
Right.
So have a great Tuesday in whatever you're driving and worry about it later.
Totally.
It's good catching up with you, David. Geared Online, the new Gooding & Company auction, Geared Online. Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
Sign up to bid. Bidding starts August 3rd. The cars are up right now at goodingandcompany.com. It's goodingco.com. August 3 to 7. I wish you luck with this, man. I'm happy about this because it sounds like you're going to be selling cars more often than you used to, which is good news for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're excited as well. So thank you very much for having me.
I'll find some time. I'll grab Zuckerman. We'll come down to Van Nuys and check out some cars.
I was just going to suggest that, so that's perfect.
Yeah, I'm there.
Great.
All right, buddy. Nice chatting with you.
Thank you.
Okay,
all righty. Bye.
Well, there it is, Zuckerman. Some cool cars. You heard about that 911 ST, that Toyota FJ, and that beautiful green is a lovely car. What do you think? You want to go check those cars out?
Absolutely. Ready to spend money I don't have.
Let's go do that this week and check out Van Nuys Airport. That's all we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. We should be back next week. I will add we will be back next week with advertising. We've got to start putting money.
Dick pills.
Yeah. Well, every ad that you hear on the show from this moment forward, I made sure the advertisers were cool with us saying whatever we want about them. I believe there are chewable boner pills. I believe there is hair. I believe we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. But we got to pay the staff here at Spike's Car Radio. We have people working for us.
Here.
And I'm tired of paying them out of my own pocket. I love you all, even the people who don't love me. We will see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.